are back live here on our big broadcast. We are coast to coast and border to border on iHeartRadio today, and also AMFM247.com. Tune in, iTunes, and you can find us each and every day over there at JiggyJaguar.com. We have got a great guest with us today. Go ahead and give me a brief introduction on yourself, my friend. Tell us a bit about yourself. Michael, can you hear us, my friend? Michael, are you still with us? I think we may have lost Michael. We'll try to get him back. See what happens here. Michael, can you hear us, my friend? Are you still with us? Okay. I think we've lost Michael. We'll go ahead and try to reconnect with him. And we'll see what happens here. We'll go ahead and reconnect with Michael and get him on the line here with us. Thanks for joining us this week here on 990 WBOB out there in Rhode Island. Also, you can find us each and every day over there at JiggyJaguar.com. So we are going to go reconnect with our guest, Beauty in Chaos. And Michael, the front man, is going to join us back here on our big program. They have released a brand new single, and we will talk about that single. We'll also play that new single here in just a few. But we have got a great, great guest with us today. We are hoping that we can get Michael back in here, and we will see what happens. And Michael, or I guess we'll ring the group, as they say. Got to ring the group on Skype, which is always fun. So we will see if we can get Michael back in here with us here on Skype, and hopefully Michael is with us. Michael, can you hear us, my friend? Are you back with us here on our big program? Michael appears to be muted on Skype, so hopefully we can work on that and get him unmuted, and we will see what happens here. But the LA-based collective Beauty in Chaos, they have a brand new single. We're going to play it here in just a few moments. They have a lot of great stuff going on, and the front man, Michael, is supposed to join us here in just a few moments. So we're hoping that he can get his Skype difficulties here figured out, and we can get him back with us here. I'll try to... He is muted for some reason on his end. I'm not real sure how that happened. So we are going to do this. We are going to go to the single. It is Bloodletting, the Vampire song. And apparently we are going to go to this track and see what happens. Maybe we'll... get Michael back in here on our big program. And if you want to join us each and every week, you can do so over there at JiggyJaguar.com. Best place to be for all the things that we are doing. And you can find us on THEMIC.info, ladies and gentlemen. It is Bloodletting, Beauty in Chaos, and it is here in the big broadcast. Hopefully we will reconnect with Michael here in just a few moments. think we're going to get Michael back on with us here, so we are going to go back to Michael. He is going to join us here on our big program. We'll finish up the song a little bit later on. So, Beauty in Chaos. Tell us a little bit about Beauty in Chaos, my friend.
Hey, thank you. Sorry about all that.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Tell us about Beauty in Chaos, man.
It's it's not a band, and I hate to use the phrase project. It's just sort of a collective. Me and my partner in Chaos, Michael Rozon, write tracks, and we get some pretty amazing singers and lyricists to be part of this. And kind of we're 3 albums into this, and also a couple of remix records, and it just sort of keeps evolving and revolving. And the cool thing about it is I am a total fan of everybody that's come on board and graciously given their time to turn these pieces of music into actual songs.
We have got a great guest with us today. He joins us live here on our big broadcast, talking a little bit about Beauty in Chaos. So how did you get started in the music business, my friend? Tell us a little about all this.
It went back to as a kid, turning on one of those late night TV shows and watching T-Rex and seeing Mark Bolan kind of prancing and pouting around. And it was, as a kid, it was either that or play football. And I didn't run a 4.3 40. And I found out quickly that girls seemed to like guys that played guitar more than jocks. So it was kind of that.
They do. They do. They do.
I mean, it's not that simplistic, but yeah, that was sort of as the 14-year-old kid watching, T-Rex, Slade, Bowie. I was always a big Mick Ronson fan, and it just kind of came for that. And never really played in a cover band growing up. It was always trying to write, our own songs.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. Joins us live here on our big program. So, tell me a little bit about some of your musical heroes and influences.
Like I said, I grew up and it was Mick Ronson, Johnny Thunders, and the New York Dolls. I never got the technical stuff, I mean, as much now as I've gotten older, I appreciate David Gilmour and Jimmy Page and stuff like that. As a kid, it was more about bashing the chords and everything like that. So I guess I kind of musically stunted myself in my adolescent years by kind of going that route. But, I vote my mind and everything is opened later as we went on. And the cool thing is I've actually, I love bands like The Cure and The Mission and Cheap Trick and all. And all those guys, through my years have become friends and graciously joined on Beauty in Chaos. I mean, to have Wayne Hussey from The Mission, Simon Gallup from The Cure, Robin Zander. I mean, not to name drop, but that was what that first record was, such a diverse cast of characters, but somehow I think we made a really cohesive record out of it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. He joins us live here on our big program. So, Beauty in Chaos, tell us a little bit about some of the goals for the group and everything else.
To me, it's just keep evolving, not kind of retracing our steps. Not being a live band on stage per se. Our videos are kind of the face of the band, and that's been a real joy to create those and kind of make each one as polar opposite of its predecessor as possible. But there, in the back of my head, even though we didn't start this as a live band, I'd love to try to put it on stage. It's just figuring the who, where, when, and how of doing that, because it's so many different moving parts. But I'm hoping before this ends, however that may be, that we do get to put it on stage. I think it would be a nice undertaking and a pleasure to do. Just trying to figure out that elements.
That's awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. Michael joins us here on our big broadcast. So how do people get more information on what you're doing and participate with you guys on social media, all that stuff?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, but it's a necessary evil. So we do have a website, Beauty in Chaos Music. .com is the website. I do a blog on that. There's Instagram and Facebook. Twitter and all that stuff linked from there. I think we have a bit of an older crowd. We still do our music in physical formats. You know, Thankfully, the little label 33 and a third music that we're on still values the idea of printing vinyl and things like that. So, but yeah, we're on there, and I try to remain as active. I'm based in Los Angeles, even though I'm a New Orleans native. But we seem to have a lot of friends and family that follow the group that are actually in Europe, Germany, France, Italy, Spain. We have a pretty decent following there. So social media does that for us.
That's awesome. So what are some of your guys' goals for the new year?
Yeah, I mean, we just put out the single, which was the cover of the Concrete Blonde track, which I've always loved. And being from New Orleans, it was such an obvious cover for us to do. Right now, I'm actually at the studio. I'm upstairs from it, where Michael and I are just starting a couple of new songs. I don't know if we will wait and do a full album, because Michael is actually producing the new Ministry record. So our studio time is a little limited, and I think as we enter our fourth year of doing this, I think people's attention span for 75 minutes of music for an album is more limited.
Yes.
And I think we may try doing just a string of just singles. Do a song, finish it, mix it, if possible, do a video, put it out, and it kind of allows us to pull in all the elements, not try to repeat ourselves, and maybe not having to worry about making it cohesive with the previous song, which you kind of have to do when you're doing a full album. So maybe it's a string of singles, for 2023, if I had to say a goal. I mean, I know that's what we're working on right now. I'd love to have a new song out, late February.
That's awesome. So, before we got you on here, we played a little bit of this music video, which is fantastic. You guys have put a lot of time into this bloodletting. Tell us a little bit about this video and everything surrounding it.
It came together quick. Like I said, I had never sang lead on any of our songs, so I was actually in New Orleans, which is where I'm from, and was kind of walking through the French Quarter in the chorus of that song. I was always a fan of Concrete Blonde, the entire Bloodletting record. I think Jeanette's just an amazing songwriter. The whole got the ways and means from New Orleans, that chorus was just kind of going in my head as we were going through like the seedy French Quarter, at night, and heard like a saxophone wailing in a distance from a club, and just kind of clicked that maybe that's a cool song for us to try to do. And it's always tricky doing a cover. You want to try to bring something to it while keeping the soul of the original, and certainly don't ever want to be involved in ruining a song that I think is so brilliant. So,
that's awesome.
I think we had a cool drum groove for it, and kind of played the signature bass line. And I think it was getting Mars Williams from the Psychedelic Furs through a friend asked, and he said, yeah, and he put down this sax lines that just kind of weaves throughout it. And I think that brought it to having that kind of real spooky New Orleans dark voodoo vibe to it. And the video just kind of unfolded. We set up in a little studio here and kind of turned it into a fictional underground vampire club, and kind of had a little B-movie vampire killer storyline running through it. And like I said, we try to make things as different from before. And our previous video featured my wife Tish, and its song is called Afterlife. And it's about her faith and a near-death experience. So going with bloodletting after that could not have been more the pendulum swinging to the other side stylistically and topic-wise. But it was a blast to do. You know, I asked some friends, and they brought friends, and we kind of had 40 people here, and just had, you know, some red wine flowing, and it turned into like a fun little thing that we were able to do in about 10 hours.
That's awesome. That is fantastic. So, where do you guys, you know, see everything going? What are some of your goals for this?
You know, I've at this point in my career, I'm going to be a rock star. I've kind of, you know, as you grow up, you kind of see behind the curtain of that. The music bit, you know, I've had record deals with Gene Loves Jezebel and Human Drama, and you kind of see that the business isn't what you thought it was when you were a kid.
Yes.
You know, so right now it's a joy to do this for the sake of making music and not hanging your livelihood on it, just for the joy of actual creating. And to me, it's been a real, it's fantastic to find artists, marry artists with the music that we make. And I always get people going, you know, you picked the perfect singer for that. And I don't think I have any kind of special gift for that. It just seems to work out that, you know, it's a pleasure when you hand an artist a piece of music, because that's what it is when we give it to a singer. It's just a soundscape. You know, it may have a structure, and when they put their words and melody to it, it comes back and it's a song, and that's kind of a really cool experience that makes it worthwhile, like seeing it turn into something. And, you know, no egos, no notions of financial gain or popularity or anything. It's just a bunch of artists kind of around the world, you know, kind of, as much as I bitch about technology allows us to make this. I mean, you know, I'm having Wayne Hussey sing in Brazil. Simon does his bass in London. Elena from Curian Camera was on our last record, and she records her vocals and shot her stuff in front of a green screen in Italy. So we do find a way
That's
to use
awesome.
technology to be able to do this. So it is kind of a global entity, if you will.
So you guys have been doing a lot of stuff with all this, and you've been putting a lot of time and effort into this. What do you want folks to get out of your music and the music videos and everything else?
I'd love them to. I think we've been really fortunate to have, you know, some fantastic lyricists. You know, I've always been a big fan of good open-ended lyrics that a listener can hear it and put themselves into it, even if it's not what the singer was writing about. You know, where you can hear it and go, oh, he or she is saying this. It means this to me. I love that aspect. I love that people that hear Beauty and Chaos will delve down into the, you know, the discography of the singer. They may have never heard of Whitney Ty, but if you dive down into Whitney, she's got a great body of work. Cat Leone, like I'm speaking females here because our last full album was 6 fantastic female singers. Cat Leone of Holy Wars have put out 2 fantastic albums. So it's kind of a two-way street. Their fan base seems to gravitate to Beauty and Chaos, and then I think we've been, you know, the people that have joined Beauty and Chaos to do songs, it's opened, you know, them up to a new audience. So I really enjoy that. And, you know, I can't. It's not, again, it's not about money or fame, because you don't make money in this business. And if you go into it, that being your goal, I think people see through it. It's just cookie cutter music. I think for Beauty and Chaos, I hope we just continue to evolve and revolve. And whatever comes out I think seems to work. We haven't really painted ourselves in any kind of creative corner. You know, we get labeled dark wave or goth, which is fantastic. You know, it's a very loyal fan base.
Well, I'll tell you, you bring that up, the dark wave and gothic and all that. My good buddy Michael Nagy, who does things for us out in New Jersey, of all places.
New Jersey, forget about it.
He years and years ago started a YouTube channel that has become huge because that's all he interviews is gothic, dark wave, and he gets a lot of hits and he gets a lot of bands because nobody's talking to these people. But at the same time, like you said, their fan base is loyal as fuck.
It's very loyal. They will actually listen to the lyrics.
Yes.
And they stay loyal to a band, and I think there are certainly elements of that run through it. And I know Bloodletting being, vampire song certainly adds to that. But like I said, our Behind the Veil record, the last full-length record, certainly had more elements of, I hate labeling stuff. It had the shoegazy kind of dream pop vibe. I do, besides The Cure, The Mission, The Sisters, Bauhaus, that stuff, I do like bands like My Bloody Valentine and Slow Dive, and that way of twisting guitars and stuff into like these sonic blasts. So to me, that was always, when we said the name of the project was Beauty and Chaos, I think I like to have within each song, cool, like swirly guitars, but then these fits of just interference and fucked up guitars that sometimes you don't even know that is guitar. Our first record, one of the goals we set out to do on the record that was called Finding Beauty in Chaos was to not use keyboards, to have all the textures come from the guitar, the manipulation of the guitar, pedals, and stuff like that. And I listened back to that record, and people going, "Oh, that Mellotron's great." It's not a fucking Mellotron on it. There's not a string line. It's all guitar manipulation. So there's that element. So I think we bring that, kind of just all. It's kind of a, I'm from New Orleans, so I guess you would say it's a jambalaya of musical influences.
That
and
is
style.
fantastic.
And it seems to work. I think you put on one of our records and you don't go, wow, this sounds like KTEL hits of the 80s, like, across the board. It
awesome.
Sounds like,
KTEL hits of the 80s, baby.
That first record was a double album, so that was right under 80 minutes of music with, I think it had 7 or 8 different singers.
Wow.
Ice-T was on that record. Went from Ice-T to Robin Zander. And
holy fuck.
Somehow we made that actually sound like it all worked together. And that's a tribute to my partner Michael Rosan, who's he makes it, I don't know, somehow we brought that together, and you could put that on and it doesn't sound disjointed, at least in my opinion.
We have got a great guest with us today. He joins us live here on our big broadcast, Beauty in Chaos. And what has been the feedback that you guys have gotten on your music?
I think it's been positive. I don't think anybody looks at us and think it's phony or faked. I think when you do it from the heart and from your soul, it's either they're going to like it or they don't. But I've given up. I've resolved this fact in my life. There you are.
Yep, we're still here, brother. I'm just listening to you.
You make, to me, I make myself happy. If Michael and I walk out the studio and go, we're proud of what this is, and the singer that we've worked with is happy and proud of what we've created, then whatever comes from that comes. There's journalists that write, and it gets, we've gotten the goth super group and stuff like that, and it kind of puts this notion of that it's something that's been created bigger than it is. But it's, I think when you make music, if you're happy with it, I think any piece of art, if you please yourself, either the next person is going to like it or they're not. I think we move more people that will actually give it the time to hear it. And, you're not getting to a poppy chorus 30 seconds into any of our songs. They tend to build up, and there's a lot. I think you hear different things each time you hear it. There's lots of layers in the instrumentation. And, I'm proud. And and I think more people like it than don't like it. I know our records sound really good, for doing that basically in home studios around the world. I think it shows, again, the positive side of technology.
Fantastic. We have got a great guest with us today. Beauty and Chaos join us here on our big broadcast. Before we let you go, how do we get in touch with you guys online, buy your music, everything?
beautyandchaosmusic.com. We have a full online store that has the physical vinyl, CDs, and, I don't want to sound like a carnival barker, but, that's where you can buy it, for the people that actually want to hold a physical piece of music. But any vinyl or CD, you do get the digital download with it. And, it's also on Spotify and Apple Music. As much as I hate that format, and I think that's gone a long way to devalue what music is, I think it's turned into a necessary evil for, maybe it's the convenience, but yeah, all of our stuff is on all those streaming platforms. There's the original versions, and we're big on remixes. I love the idea of handing other artists, producers, and mixers our tracks and going, show me how you hear them. And there's some fantastic remixes that are way more than just somebody adding a dance beat to it and going, now it's a 12-inch club single. They really deconstruct and reconstruct the tracks, and I still really enjoy listening to those. But yeah, on our website, that's the best way. And can email me. I'm happy to converse music, talk anything, football.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Well, you are fantastic. Thanks for doing this, brother, and I definitely want to do this again at some stage of the game.
Happy to.
Before we let you go, how do people support the music?
Buy a piece of physical music, and that's not just us. To me, any band you see, if you go, I like that band, buy it. If you want to hear another record by whatever band, artist you're hearing, support it. I mean, that's why T-shirts are $40 at shows, because some of those bands are using that to get to the gas
to
money
the next town. That's right.
That's not us. But, for us, if you like what you hear, buy the physical record. If not, listen to it on Spotify, share it, put it on playlists, whatever the kids do today.
That's awesome. Well, you are amazing. Thanks for doing this, brother. Really appreciate the time. And we will talk to you soon. Have yourself a wonderful day, my man.
You too, man. Take care.
Appreciate it, brother. There he goes. The fantastic Beauty and Chaos today. They join us live here.